Hi, students. Today I want to share with you uh, the summary of in a very brief video. I want to tell you what sub editing is basically. In electronic media, we have NLEs or non-linear editors in television channels. But when it comes to newspapers, we have a desk where sub-editors work. Now, in US and some other countries, in the US they are called copy editors. We call them in the newspapers, we call them sub-editors, right? So, overall, there are a few things that a sub-editor must have, a few qualities that a sub-editor must have. For example, the first and the foremost, the most important quality or the most important skill that a sub-editor should have, that is the command over a language. The language in which he or she renders their responsibilities. Right? If I'm working for an Urdu newspaper, I must be able to use Urdu as a vehicle of communication. If I'm working for an English language newspaper, I must have a good command of the English language. So command over language is very much important. That is the first thing. Yes, there are some other things like news sense. We already have discussed in the classes how do you differentiate between the important and unimportant news stories. For example, if there is something like recent, so we say that it's an important incident worthy to be published. We call them news values. I mean, news values, there are different kinds of news values. There are a number of news values. Like, for example, if something is recent, it's important. If something involves some celebrity, it becomes important. If something is, odd or unique, something unique, that becomes, that carries a news value. So there are different kinds of news values, and a sub-editor must have the ability to differentiate between the important and unimportant incidents for publications in their respective newspapers. For example, so I told you two things. Number one, the command over the language. Editor or a sub-editor must have a command over the language. Secondly, he or she must also have a news sense. They should be able, sub-editors should be able, the people who work on the desk, they should be able to decide which news stories and reports are to be published and which ones can be rejected, right? Because we have shortage of space. So that is the issue, that we cannot accommodate all the news material that reaches our offices, the newspaper offices or the magazines offices. That's why we decide which ones to be published and which ones to be rejected and thrown into the recycle bin. So command over the language, secondly, first the command over language, and secondly is the second thing is the news sense sub-editors should have. Another very important thing, headlining. A reporter can file a story, but it's not the responsibility of a reporter to headline the story. It is the job of a sub-editor or editor to headline a news story, a proper headline. We already have discussed the headlining in a detailed class during our semester, the one we are now going to close. So headlining is very important. If you can't headline a news story, it means you are not a sub-editor, or you are not an editor or sub-editor. It is the job of the people who are working on the desk to properly headline each and every news story or feature story. Maybe there is an opinion piece or anything, but headlining is the job of sub-editor. This is the third quality that a sub-editor should have. The fourth thing is objectivity is very important for a journalist, whether that's a sub-editor or a reporter. But objectivity means that by objectivity we mean you don't side with any party. You just try to report and edit things impartially. For example, when it comes to objectivity, there are two parties. Basically, what we do, journalists do, party A and party B. There is a conflict between these two parties. What the journalist do, the journalist does his job in a way that he approaches party A and what the party A tells him or her, then the journalist approaches the party B in response to get the reply of the party B in response to what the party A has said. So when he or she get both side party and both the version of both sides, party A and party B, on any conflict, then his story is fine. So that is objectivity, that you should have, you should be impartial. We should be impartial, even if a reporter is biased. So I, being a sub-editor or editor, I should ensure objectivity in that report. I should ask that reporter to seek the version of another party, for example, if that version is missing in the story. That's objectivity, right? A very simple rule: always link the information to their sources. Attribution. We also have discussed this attribution in the classes. Attribution, when you tell your readers where information in your news story is coming from, that is attribution. So a journalist never uses his own opinion, but he always tries to link information to their sources. If there is any information, the journalist must write in the news report the source of that information, right? And then there are different kinds of we deal with on the record sources, the source which gives you your name and designation and identity and also all the information, and that source tells you that you can publish all that information with their name. That is on the record. When there is some resource that gives some information to a journalist and requests that he or she should be kept secret while the information can be published, that is anonymous source, or that information is called non-attributable information. So anonymous source always wishes to stay anonymous. They don't want to have their name published in the report, but yes, they just want the information to be published. Maybe their job is threatened, maybe their life is threatened, maybe they have some issue if they report their name in the news report. That's why they want to stay anonymous in the story. Off the record means that when a source tells you some information, they give you some information, and their source tells you that it is just for your information, you can't use that information for the news story, nor can you identify them or use their name. So neither the identity nor the information is published. So it means that information is just for the understanding of the journalist on any issue. Yes, journalists can later go and find another source that may be on the record and that may be willing to identify themselves. So all these things. So overall, there are these simple things. Number one, command over the language. The editor or sub-editor must be able. They must have a good command over the language in which they render their responsibilities. Number two, they should have a news sense, right, to differentiate between the important and unimportant news, to select the news material for publication, and to discard or reject the unimportant items. And the news sense also have another meaning. They should be able to decide which news story should be published on the top of the newspaper and which ones to be published at the bottom of the newspaper or the lower parts of the newspaper page. The more a story is important, it is given the space in the upper parts of the newspaper page. The more, or if it's less important, something that's not very important. So it depends deciding the space. How much space should be given in news story? Is it worth giving 2 columns or 3 columns or 8 columns? So the sub-editor should also have this sense. And the third thing has to do headlining, very important. If you can't headline a news story, you can't become a sub-editor or editor. Yes, you can. If you try, you learn how to headline. We had a detailed class on this. For example, I told you that when the intro is in the past tense, we usually give headline in the present tense. And when the intro is in the future tense, if it is some event like curtain raiser, a future event, so normally sometimes the intro we use that is in the future tense. So the headline is also in the future tense. We have discussed in the detail, but overall these are the things like command over the language, news writing, headlining, objectivity, using attribution, right? So all these things, these are very important things, right? There are many other qualities. If you see, there are many other things that a sub-editor should keep in mind. It should be creative, and they should ensure that there's clarity in their writing. Clarity with regard to the facts and figures. Creative in the sense that the headlines should be attractive, creative, that could grab the attention of the readers. There are many other things, but these are the things, the 4 or 5 things I told you, like the command over the language, news sense, headlining, and objectivity, attribution, these things. So overall, these are very important things for a sub-editor and also for a journalist. But for a sub-editor, objectivity is important for all the journalists. Whether a journalist is working as a reporter or an editor, they must be objective, right? So impartial. And when it comes to headlining and command over the language, all these things, these are more important for a sub-editor compared to a reporter. This is what I wanted to share with you in this brief video. Hope we will meet in the next videos. So see you all. Goodbye. Khuda Hafiz.